Welcome to the video. I'm going to talk to you now about another one of the steps that the top performing property investors in Australia use in following trends, following the market and building the property portfolio. So it's all down to planning, and this is part of the planning strategy. Knowledge is the precursor to change. So we need as much knowledge and information as we can before we make such a big decision as to building a property portfolio, because that is a big call with a big outcome at the end if and when you get that right. So I'm going to talk to you today about a property cycle. What is it, briefly, and should you be prepared to exit your property portfolio after one cycle? So in other words, should you follow a trend or should you stay in after a cycle? I'll explain that. At the end of the video, there's lots of information on our webpage that you don't want to miss out on, so make sure that you go there and download all of that content and information that our students have been using for years and years and years to absolutely get it right and to rocket themselves ahead in property in Australia. Now, a property cycle is a doubling in value. It means that, for simplicity, if I buy something today for $1 and it goes through a cycle, it doubles in value in that cycle. That cycle can take a year for my $1 to turn to $2, or it can take 10 years for my $1 to turn to $2. Whatever the time is the cycle. So a cycle is a time, it's a period of time, in time. So what happens is, I get in at my entry point. Whatever I've invested, if I'm getting into property and I've bought myself a $400,000 investment property, when it goes through a full cycle, the property is now valued at $800,000. So my input of 400, I borrowed my money from the bank, I've made 400 by using the bank's money, the 400 I've made is mine, and I pay the bank back the 400 that they gave me at the start of the cycle. Here are property cycle trends, historical trends in Australia. 1972, the median value of a property in Australia was $16,600. 3 years later, the median value doubled. They were now $32,200. So what happened there was, whoever had a property at this stage, it doubled in value by this stage. If you had investments, you've just doubled your money in that short period of time. 1975 to 1983, same thing. It doubled in value, greater time frame, but it doubled in value. 83 to 88, 5 years later, they doubled in value again, came up to 132,000. Today, the median value of a property in Australia today is $658,000. Now, that's the trend. With that trend, there's an upside and a downside. It does not mean, and this is where so many get it wrong, these are the headline stories that we read in the newspaper all the time. That does not mean that you just simply pick up an investment property in a particular part of Australia, in a particular city in Australia, and expect it to double in value, because this is an average. This is a median. This is an average figure. This means that in this time, these doublings of values between 3 and 8 years, it meant this. Some properties doubled in value over 4 years, but equally in here there was properties that didn't double in value because we took the average, and some properties took 16 years to double in value.